Okay. Hi, Julian. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. So, where shall we start? You want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk about your books?
Where to begin? That's always the difficult question. Let's see. I was actually born in California, in Laguna Beach, California. Stayed here for about 10 years and moved up to Washington State for 5 years. Then I went out to Massachusetts for about 16 years. Now I'm back here.
I'm originally from Boston. I grew up there and spent most of my life. I moved to Las Vegas in 2005 just to get out of the New England cold. But I'm originally a New Englander. So, how did you like the New England area?
Can I be honest with you?
You didn't like it? Yeah.
Let me put it this way. 0 to 100 over the course of a year.
In terms of temperature, you mean?
Oh, yes.
Well, yeah. The weather is kind of extreme. That's for
It's
sure.
nuts is what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's not for everybody, that's for sure. What were you doing out there? Did you go to school or?
Um, well, I've moved around a lot for schooling. I spent more or less elementary school in California. Then when I got up to Washington State, that's where I did um, the rest of my elementary, including middle school and 1 year of high school. Then I spent the rest in Massachusetts, where I also went to college. There were my associates and my bachelor's degree.
And then at some point you started writing. You started writing books because it looks like you've got quite a few of them. What made you start to write? Was there anything particular?
Well, it's kind of a sad tale, but would you like to hear it?
Sure. Yeah.
In 2009, my father passed away. Writing was an outlet for the grief. I I wrote a lot of poetry just to sort of express how I felt to other people. I also started I guess getting into writing other stuff, like some like short stories, some like fan fictions. But I guess one day when I was just like at a Barnes Noble, I got the idea to start writing Airborne, my first book.
What is the title of your first book again? I'm sorry.
Airborne.
Airborne. Okay. Tell us a little about that book.
Well, it's the first book in my ongoing book series called The Defiant Crusade, a form of epic fantasy and steampunk science fiction.
Epic fantasy and steampunk science fiction. Okay. There's about 5,000 different genres of books these days, and I'm not sure what they all mean. Can you explain those genres a little bit?
Of course, epic fantasy refers to like high stakes of like a world in conflict. Like examples would be like what the story of Game of Thrones, for instance. That was high stakes and everything. Then steampunk science fiction refers to a sort of Victorian era level of technology where everything is run by like the power of steam. Like if you imagine steam like only like powered boats back then, imagine it powering everything from old age like amenities, like if they had steam powered cars, steam powered aircraft, everything like that.
All right. So what happens in your story? Can you give us a little bit of an overview of it? Don't give it all away. Just give us a rough synopsis.
It's about two main characters. In my stories, I like to sort of have a duality between, have like one male and one female to sort of like provide a mixed perspective of the world. Regarding, I guess, the story, it's about two characters. One of them is named Cifro. He's a traumatized military engineer who was the sole survivor of his hometown getting destroyed by mysterious circumstances. And he meets a very fiercely independent and rebellious woman who is a couple of years older than him. Her name is Awesha. Now, and she lives in a medieval society, while he is from the steampunk one I mentioned. Now, the most, I guess, discerning factor about these two characters is that they are not from the same race. Cifro is what's called a Terran. He's from a world that has survived 4 world wars, each one bringing them to the brink of extinction each time, while Oesha is from a world that has only known peace forever, other than the occasional ethnic cleansing.
What are
Now,
these? Sorry, what did these people look like? Are they human?
the Terrans are more like you could say, human-like.
Human-like, okay.
But the other race, Oeshas, they are winged, which means that they have wings that are on their backs. So they look like angels, but they're the most unangel-like beings you'll ever come across.
I'm picturing the flying dragon from what was that? Like the third Narnia. Does it look something like that?
No,
No.
they're human-like. I mean,
Okay.
they have human like bodies and whatnot, but they have wings upon their backs,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and they have a whole society like centered around that, having wings or not.
So they join forces?
Yes, under the most like strangest of circumstances, and it becomes their role in the story to unravel the mysteries of their worlds and prevent a war that might break out between Winged and Terrans.
The other thing is we got a book cover called Vigilance.
Yes, that's the third book in the series. That's
Okay.
under construction right now.
That's the one we're going to put up. But you said it's not out yet?
No, it's almost done though.
It's almost done. Okay, well, that's all right. This will be a promo for that. So this is the third book in this series. Are the same characters in this book as
Oh
well?
yes.
Yeah, okay. So they've moved on. They joined forces. They moved on. Can you give us a little bit of a teaser, a trailer of what's going to happen in Volume 3?
Well, to understand Volume 3, you have to understand a little bit of Volume 2.
Okay, so it's not really a standalone then, right?
Oh no.
No.
It's an ongoing continuation of the series.
Well, just give us a little bit of it, and then if it confuses people, they'll have to buy all the books. So that's all right.
Well, that's the only way to really understand everything. In Vigilance, my main characters, Sifro and Oesha, have just survived a cataclysm, a continent that had fallen out of the sky. And now they're in a recovery phase where they're trying to, I guess, like, recover from their last battle and discern what they have to do next. The leadership they serve is, I guess, drawing battle lines, gathering allies, trying to form new alliances, and also, I guess, grouping together who their enemies are. It's a very uncertain time because they're stuck in an unfamiliar location and they have to quickly establish a base of operation.
Are you self-published or are you traditionally published?
Self-published.
Okay. How many books total do you have published at this point?
3.
Okay, just this series, right?
Yes. Well, actually, I have 2 of my 2 books, Airborne and Landfall. And if you see in the background, I have my 3rd book, Mentors and Mavericks.
Okay. Well, the background's a little blurry, but that's okay. How are your books selling? Are they doing fairly well?
Not really.
Not really?
I'm kind of new to all this authorship. I haven't really invested a whole lot in, advertisement. I've been focusing more on word of mouth and doing what I can afford, which means Twitter and perhaps LinkedIn for like little drops of information and whatnot.
Well, I can't tell you that it's an easy road because there is so much stuff out there that it's difficult to get your head above the water with everyone else vying for the same place. But coming on this show would help. You can hopefully get some people interested who are going to watch this interview. So there may be...
And that's why I came to you. I wanted to try my luck at doing a podcast for the first time. And after seeing your podcast, and I thought, now this is the guy who's the perfect starting point.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And ironically, that's the starting point for you, and this is the ending point for the interview, because we are just out of time. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you have a website that you want to give out?
I don't have a website of my own just yet, but I do have, my books are available on Amazon if people want to go check them out. I also have a Twitter page, and I'm also on LinkedIn.
All right, great. Well, we will put that up, that your books are available on Amazon, and we'll show the cover that you sent us. And thank you again for coming on the show. Best of luck. I hope to see more books from you.
Thank you. One last thing I should probably add.
Yeah?
The Defiant Crusade is a 6-book series. So the books are already written. Now I just got to get them published.